What if you could hold a complete map of the entire universe, everything from a single atom all the way to the human soul, on just one page of a notebook? Well, believe it or not, we're about to decode that exact blueprint, and trust me, it's way more profound than you can imagine. So take a look at this. At first glance, yeah, it kind of just looks like a page of handwritten notes, right? But it is so much more than that. This is a blueprint, an ancient, incredibly detailed system designed to explain the fundamental composition of all reality. And the whole thing kicks off with one single, really audacious question. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? How is that even possible? It seems completely impossible. But the answer is hiding in this incredibly elegant framework that was built to categorize, well, everything that exists. So let's unlock it together. Okay, so these notes, they're not just random scribbles from some philosopher's journal. They're actually a super concise summary of the Vaisheshika school of thought, one of the great ancient Indian philosophies. And its goal? Oh, nothing huge, just to create a complete inventory of the entire cosmos. So how in the world do you even begin to take an inventory of the universe? Well, the Vaisheshika system has this absolutely brilliant starting point. It says that everything, and I mean everything, is made from just 9 fundamental substances. And here they are, the big 9. First, you've got the physical elements, the stuff we can kind of wrap our heads around. Earth, water, fire, air, and this thing called ether. They're the basic building blocks of the material world. But then you get the concepts that govern it all, which are just as real in this system. Time, space, the mind, and, yep, the soul itself. All right, let's zoom in on those first 5 physical elements, because this is where the genius of this system really starts to shine. It connects the world out there directly to our experience of it in here.
Now, to really get this connection, we need to understand this key concept called guna. Think of a guna as like a unique defining quality. It's a substance's superpower, its essential property. And the secret sauce of the Vaisheshika framework is that each physical element has one special guna that nothing else has. This is the whole key to our senses.
Just look at this. It's a perfect one-to-one mapping. According to this system, the unique quality of earth is smell, and it can only be perceived by the nose. The unique quality of water, that's taste. For fire, it's color, perceived by the eyes. For air, it's touch. And for ether, which is kind of like space, its defining quality is sound, picked up only by our ears. It's just so neat and tidy. And this explains something that we all kind of know intuitively, right? It gives a philosophical answer for why our senses don't get their wires crossed. The guna of taste, for example, literally can't be detected by our eyes, because taste belongs to the water element, while our eyes are built to perceive the color guna of the fire element. It just makes sense. Okay, but reality is obviously more than just what we can smell or taste or see, and this system totally accounts for that. So let's dive into the unseen but absolutely essential parts of our existence, the mind and the soul.
This is what makes this system so unbelievably powerful. It doesn't back away from the really big questions. It actually applies the same careful, systematic logic to our inner world of thoughts and consciousness as it does to the outer world of mountains and rivers.
You can see just how rigorous it is in the original notes. Take this number right here, 8. You see how it's listed right next to the word for mind, manas. So, what on earth does that mean? Well, what it means is that in this system, the mind isn't some vague, fuzzy concept. It's a substance with 8 distinct, definable qualities. And one of those is speed, which is what allows your mind to jump from one thought to the next, processing all that information from your senses in a flash. The mind is basically the internal organ that makes perception happen. And it gets even more specific when it gets to the soul, actually defining 2 different types. So first, there's the individual soul, that's us, you and me, defined by 14 different attributes, including all our desires, emotions, and the effects of karma. But then there's the supreme being, defined by 8 attributes, like perfect knowledge, existing completely beyond karma. Even spirit itself gets classified and understood systematically. Okay, so we have all the pieces on the board, the elements, the senses, the mind, the soul. But how do they all fit together? Because this isn't just a static list, it's a dynamic model for explaining the actual process of how we experience reality. Here's how it all plays out. Step 1, an object makes contact with one of your senses. Step 2, that sense organ detects the object's unique quality, its guna, let's say the touch of air. Step 3, that data gets zapped to the mind, which acts like a super fast central processor. And finally, step 4, the mind presents that processed information to the individual soul. And that's the moment that knowledge and real understanding actually happened.
So let's go back and look at that original page of notes again. It doesn't look like just a collection of categories anymore, does it? We can now see it for what it truly is. A complete, dynamic flowchart of reality itself, explaining how a conscious soul experiences a universe built from matter, time, and space.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. The Vaisheshika framework is this absolutely powerful attempt to give everything in the universe, from a single atom all the way up to your own consciousness, its proper place. It's a system where the physical and the spiritual aren't two different things, but are deeply, deeply interconnected parts of one single understandable whole.
It's an absolutely incredible intellectual achievement, really. And it kind of leaves us with a final thought. If you were to do this today, using all of our modern knowledge, everything from quantum physics to neuroscience, how would you map reality? What would be on your list of fundamental substances? Definitely something to chew on.